The maritime industry is a major player in our state, according to the state Commerce Department. 2% of all jobs in Washington are maritime related. That's 62,000 people employed across 2,300 companies.
The Northwest Seaport Alliance is the fourth largest container gateway in North America, handling approximately $75 billion in waterborne trade. And get this, our state has the highest boat usage per capita in the entire country. About 250,000 watercraft are used on our waterways for either business or leisure. And now we're learning that the president has his eye on building up the maritime industry.
President Trump wants to establish a shipbuilding office and introduce new tax incentives to revitalize the shipbuilding sector. Jeff Locke has more details from Philadelphia Shipyard.
There is real excitement today at the Philadelphia Shipyard over what the president had to say in his speech about bringing back American shipbuilding. Maybe you see over my shoulder some of what's going on here. This has been the epicenter of shipbuilding in the U.S. over the past dozen years or so. More ships built here than anywhere else in the U.S. However, the number pales in comparison to what is now being built in China. Last year, we have numbers indicating about 32.9 million tons of ships built in China. Number one spot in the world, the U.S. 15th on the list. About 0.1% of all ships built in the world built here. The president wants to turn that around.
We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact to further enhance our national security.
And the president's plan to provide tax incentives to shipbuilders, as well as perhaps charge fees at U.S. ports for ships that come in that were built in China, that has big support from the unions that support shipbuilding in the U.S., specifically the United Steelworkers, the Boilermakers, the IBEW, the electrical workers and machinists. They sent a letter to the president prior to his speech saying, and I quote it in part, "We urge you to take responsive action to impose tough penalties against vessels built according to the plans, policies, and actions of the Chinese Communist Party, and to adopt complementary policies that rebuild America's shipbuilding capacity and workforce." And this even has the support of some Democrats. I talked to Pennsylvania Congressman Chris DeLuzio yesterday. He is a Navy and an Iraq vet who has been fighting for shipbuilding in the U.S. He is not a big fan of President Trump's, but he does support him on this issue.
American shipbuilding, we got to do it. And I think there's bipartisan interest in the Congress in us making more ships. We know that requires action on getting workforce trained and ready, some incentives for American companies.
Pretty hard these days to find an issue on which there is bipartisan support in the Congress. I think we found one. At the Philadelphia Shipyard, I'm Jeff Locke with the Fox Business Network.